And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be power leveling Blacksmith from 50 to 60. Woohoo! And as always, hello from Mr. Blue Sideburns. So, the very first thing you need to do in the expansion, if you want to think about power leveling, is, well, you don't need to, but I like to do it. You come to the Blacksmith Guild again, and do the quest, which effectively leads you to Ishgard. And when I do my power leveling guides, I do like to do the class quests along the way, just to make sure that I don't have to do them again later on. So I don't have to like go through all the quests after I've hit 60. And as well, I'm going to do this with leaves as before, so you can do it 50 60 with leaves. And the point of a power leveling guide is to do it as quickly as possible. So we're not too concerned about the cost of getting the high quality materials, blah blah blah, because in theory, Mithrie or friends are going to make all the high quality materials for me, so I don't have to worry about it. And as well, the thing is that you need to make sure that you just take advantage of whichever leve gives the most experience, but at the same time, not the one which was going to like break your bank account. Make sure that you do it at a reasonable pace. So let's go to Foundation. And obviously to get the Foundation, you have to have finished patch 2.55 you have to have finished the Realm Reborn to get to Foundation, to Ishgard. And one thing we've learned as well is that in order to unlock the Temple Leves, which are the leaves we're going to be doing for the power leveling, which are located right here, these Temple Leves, you need to have done the quest, The Better Half, which is literally maybe the second or maybe the third quest you get for the main story when you arrive in Ishgard. So after you've done the quest and finished the quest, The Better Half, then you are able to do the leaves. So anyway, let's go quickly to the Jeweled Grosier, and let's finish this level 50 Blacksmith quest. And every single class in the game for crafting and gathering and so on has got a new level 50 quest that leads you to the expansion. So it's worth doing them. Just get them done so that you don't have to worry about it later. Okay, so let's do it. And also you, of course, get rewards and EXP. And the reason why we want to do all these quests anyway is because they give, later on, especially at 58 to 60, a lot of free rank 4 materials. So that's what we're really concerned about. Okay, so we turned in that quest. And we're done, so now we need to go to level 52. Now what's actually interesting about the expansion is that it's not like every 2 levels like before, so like 52, 54, whatever. It's actually like 53, 56, 58, and then 60. So there isn't like a quest for 52 and 54, they just done one quest in between. And yeah. So anyway, now what makes it easier to do the leve quests here in the expansion compared to before is that all of the leves are done right here. No traveling required. Very, very straightforward. So it's just a case of choose which leve, turn it in multiple times, and so on. So these power leveling guides for 50 to 60 are going to be a lot shorter than they used to be. So let's talk to him. We want tradecraft leves. We don't want large scale ones. We're not interested in these. We want these ones. And let's see. So 47,000, 109,000, 109,000. So obviously you just pick whichever one is cheaper to make. In our case, we've picked these Mythrite patas. So okay, we've accepted it. Let's hand it in. Okay, hand in, hand over, yes. Complete. Done. So, I'm anticipating having to turn this leve in a total of 9 times in order to hit level 52. So, once we are level 52, we will continue. Okay, so we were able to hit level 52 by turning in the leve quest a total of 9 times, turning in 9 Mythrite patas. So now we're back here with the leve giver. Let's see what the next leve is. So tradecraft leves 52. So let's see, 140k, 70k, and 140k. So let's see, a Mythrite Zweihander or a Mythrite Stilleto. And when we looked at the mats, we basically discovered that the Stilletos were cheaper to make than the Zweihanders. So that's why we went with those instead. Okay, so let's accept that quest. The tradecraft leaves, and let's see which one it's called. So Fright and Barrel. So let's accept. And like I said, it is so much easier doing the power leveling in Heavensward. It's ridiculous. So let's trade it. Hand over, and done. So see, that one leave gave us 280,000 experience. So it's I'm anticipating having to turn this leave in 10 times in order to hit level 54. And once we hit level 53, we can go and do the level 53 Blacksmith quest from the same place where we left off the quest before in the Jewel Grozier. And for that quest, you need to turn in 3 high-quality Mythrite rivets, which you can see I've already got prepared. So anyway, once we're level 54, we will continue. Okay, so we were able to hit level 54 Blacksmith by turning in 10 Mythrite Stilletos. So very, very straightforward. Then now we're back. And we did also the level 53 quest as well, which is cool. So let's see, Tradecraft leaves for 54. Let's see, 78k, 170k, 170k. There's just a case of picking which one you think is cheaper. So either the titanium creasing knife or what we've made, the Hardsilver Saws. So let's accept. And then let's turn in. So hard silver, turn in, high quality. So this will give us 350,000. We also got 84 for the challenge log, so that might save us time later. So yeah, but don't rely on that. We're going to do the numbers as if we don't have challenge log and bonuses and stuff. So I'm anticipating having to turn this in a total of 12 times in order to hit level 56. And also at level 56, you need a titanium bastard sword in order to do the level 56 blacksmith quest. So once we've done both and we're ready to progress past 56, we will continue. Okay, so we were able to hit level 56 by turning in a total of 12 Hardsilver Saws. So next, let's take a look at the next leave. So Tradecraft leaves, and let's see, 190k, okay, and then 96k, and 180k. So obviously it's 190k we want. Now what's interesting is that this 96k requires 2 hammers, whereas this one, which is 193, requires 1 Battleaxe. So yeah, so just think about what gives the most EXP, but is also worth it. Like you do want to be concerned a little bit with the price as well, which I'll come on to later. And I'm anticipating having to turn this in a total of roughly 15 times to hit level 58. And for the level 58 quest, you need to turn in a titanium lump hammer if you want to get that ready as well for when we hit level 58. So once we are level 58, we will continue. Okay, so we were actually able to hit level 58 by turning in the quest a total of, I believe, 13 times. And the reason why it wasn't 15 as I thought is because obviously I didn't factor in the amount of experience I got from doing all the quests along the way. And I have done all the quests, including the level 58 quest so far. And what I recommend you do when you do the 58 quest and you select the rank 4 materia, if you're not intending to overmeld to get yourself to 2-star, for example, then just go on the market board, check which rank 4 materia is worth the most money, get that and sell it. So in my case, it's the commands which are worth the most. So we're back with the leave guy to get to do the 58 to 60 grind. So let's see, Tradecraft leaves. Now, this is an interesting thing, okay? So look at this. So 99, so we'll ignore that. 200k, you know, looks good, 198k. Now the thing is, the problem with this, these require adamantite. So adamantite nuggets, they're very expensive. They can cost as much as 6,000 to 10,000 each, on depending what server you're on. Okay, so and it's the same. So adamantite dollar brat, it's exactly the same thing for 200,000. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to go back to the 56 range, because there's nothing to stop us doing that. And we're going to just keep turning in these Battleaxes because they're much cheaper to make, and you only lose 7k or 14k when it's doubled up per turn in, but you save yourself a huge amount of gil doing titanium rather than adamantite. So I'm anticipating having to turn this in a total of something like 30... Hang on, let me think. About 20 times-ish. 20-ish times to reach level 60. But of course, the second we're about to hit level 60, then I obviously will make a video. Sorry, I'll continue the video and we'll have the definite count. And as well, the level 60 quest requires us to turn in an adamantite winglet if we want to get the rank 4 materia rewards at level 60, which I do recommend that you do. So once we're about to hit level 60, we will continue. Okay, so we did it, guys. We're already at the point of hitting level 60 as a blacksmith. So here, Tradecraft leaves level 56. We won the Diamond Sawdust, accept. And along the way, while I was doing this, I actually got a challenge log, which gave me about 90,000 extra EXP. So in my case, to get from 58 to 60 took 16 leaves, but it just factor in whether you do the quests, the class quests along the way, and if you get any challenge logs along the way as well. So you might need 1 or 2 more at the very, very most. The handover, yes, done, complete. There we go. Level 60 blacksmith, simple as that. So we got the achievement Temper 6. So that's that done. So what we're going to quickly do is we're going to go and turn in the final blacksmith quest. What I really recommend as well, as always, is that if you haven't seen the story of each of the classes, including the crafting classes before, then do read them, do watch the cutscenes and stuff like that, because they are really, really interesting. Like, there is actually a purpose to this, in case you've already seen my level 60 blacksmith video. But if you're doing it on an alt, like I am right now, then, you know, watch it, don't watch it, doesn't really matter. But yeah, like, at least try and experience it at least once, because it is really fun to do. And like I said, the reason we want to get all the class quests done is just so we don't have to do them later, and for all of the rank 4 materials, which we can then sell to make back all the money that was spent making the items to get to level 60. So, and the level 60 quest gives you 1 of each of the rank 4 materials. So a CP1, a cunning, well, the CP1, the cunning, the command for control, and the competence for craftsmanship. So let's skip the cutscene. So now let's go to in front of the grounds. Now, the general story is that you're helping someone to have a really awesome sword so that they can become a knight. That's basically it. They want to effectively audition to be a knight. You make them the sword so that they can succeed. That is basically the blacksmith story. But it's obviously a lot more interesting when you watch the cutscenes and see how it all unfolds. So we're going to talk to her. Skip cutscene. That's why we needed the adamantite winglet, because that's effectively the sword that we handed over to her. So now let's go back to Formodian, or Formodane. So let's see, the dual Grosier. Right. Well, I said I am very, very happy that this requires like no traveling in order to get done. I mean, a couple of the class quests required me, like the furthest I had to travel was to like Tailfeather. It was really straightforward. So yeah, there you see. So I'm going to get 1 competence 4, 1 cunning 4, and 1 command 4. So all 3 of them. So there you go. So we have now finished level 60 blacksmith, our first level 60 class in the expansion on my alt, and it was very, very easy to do. And in total, we spent barely any. Like, let's see, let's actually add it up. So it cost 9 turn-ins to get from 50 to 52, 10 to get 52 to 40, 12 to get 54 to 56, 13 to get from 56 to 58, and 16 to get from 58 to 60. So some quick mental arithmetic: 19, 31, 44. It costs 60 leaves. So literally 60 leaves to get 10 levels, 50 to 60, and that's it. Very straightforward. So maybe literally by the end of tomorrow, I can start working on the next class. And if you like the structure of the power leveling guides, or you have any suggestions how I can improve them, please let me know in the comments down below. And as well, if you have, I'm going to aim to do Goldsmith next. I'm going to do Goldsmith for the next power leveling guide. But whichever class you would want me to do after Goldsmith, just please again let me know, and I'll do them in whatever order you ask me to do it. So anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Blue Sideburns.